I just wanted to hop on and just comment about this momentous piece of news you might have heard about the renaming of polycystic ovarian syndrome is now going to be referred to forevermore in not PCOS, but PMOS, which is going to stand for polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome. And honestly, yesterday felt like it was a surprise to get this news yesterday. And I found myself very emotional, honestly, unexpectedly emotional about the news for so many reasons. And I wanted to just share a little bit about why I find this so emotional. When you are living with what was called PCOS and now is called PMOS, it is this multifaceted systemic challenge for the body, and it affects so many aspects of a person's life. And I've been, living with this disorder for my entire life, and really working with it to keep it at bay naturally. And I've done a really good job with that for myself. At the same time, of course, because of the multifaceted nature of this disorder, there are just certain things that no matter what I wish, like I wish I could do certain things with like enjoying sugar. Like I just can't. It's just the realities of this metabolic problem that is aligned with this disorder. And it was really moving to have that acknowledged, to have the challenge, the extraordinary challenge that it is to navigate this disorder, to have that sort of acknowledged with the name change, that it isn't just sort of like a period issue, a lack of having regular cycles. It's so much more. And like I said, you guys know my story. It absolutely affected every aspect of my life, not just from my weight and my skin, but moods and sleeping and depression and anxiety. And it was a really intense experience. And so I don't know, something about the rename is like helping. Helping the young woman who was going through that all by herself 25 years ago. So yeah, I'm glad for the name change. I think it'll be a good thing for everybody. And I think also it's validating, right? That I made the choice, when I was presented with the option to go on birth control pills. I wasn't diagnosed for 7 years. And then when I finally found the article on the original name, which is the Stein-Leventhal Disease, that was, in an obstetrics journal, and I brought that to my gynecologist, the only treatment option that was available at that time was going on birth control. And it was really validating. This rename is so validating around that decision to not pursue that as a treatment option and instead to follow my instincts and my what I was being exposed to academically that was coming out of the Human Genome Project. Remember, I was at Johns Hopkins at the time, looking at how diet and lifestyle were key levers just in disease states or not disease states and identical twins, and really feeling called to pursue a dietary and lifestyle approach for the endocrine system. That was the thing that I felt very strongly about 25 years ago as being the right path to dealing with this disorder. And with this rename, I had my clinical practice in Manhattan for 10 years, and I was taking care of other women like me and other women with other gynecological disorders, fibroids, ovarian cysts, endometriosis, infertility, perimenopause, you name it. And all of the programs and the protocols that I put these women on were all based on rebooting or recalibrating or correcting the signal inputs to the endocrine system and watching that allow that individual's body, like it had with my own, to restore hormonal homeostasis. And that was the basis of the first book that I wrote, WomanCode, which had that protocol in there, that we still offer on the Flow Living website, the Foundational Flow program that takes you through how to do that, how to address this polyendocrine situation in your PCOS, really looking at all the different aspects of the signals that you need to correct to get the endocrine system to function properly. And it's just incredibly validating, this name change, because, obviously we know that that program has been helping women for the past 20 years. It's certainly been helping me for the past 20 something years with my own PCOS. But to have the acknowledgement of an updated name change is so important, because it helps us understand and see more clearly what the right treatment path really needs to be for women with PMOS, polyendocrine, metabolic, ovarian syndrome. It needs to be so much more comprehensive than taking, birth control, right? We have to address the metabolic issues, the endocrine issues, the ovarian issues. We have to address all of it. And it's certainly been an emotional 24 hours since getting this information. I still have some processing to do myself, but it definitely also has given me a renewed passion to just share this information with my PCOS, PMOS community, that I totally get how it feels to feel overwhelmed, to feel disheartened, to feel like you make some progress, but then it's so much harder than it is for everybody else. I totally relate to that. And I just want you to know that there is a solid support here for you at Flow Living. For the past 20 years, between my clinical practice and Flow Living itself, that's about 24 years together combined of taking care of women with this issue. The Foundational Flow protocol has been in use continuously and successfully since then, for that long. If you need help dealing with this polyendocrine, metabolic, ovarian syndrome, we're here. This is why I built it, because I went through this myself so long. It changed my health journey, but it also changed my career. I was on a completely different path, and I've really felt so called to build something that would help women with this condition, and then it has just grown from there. And also, the supplement, the PCOS support supplement that I formulated, it's practitioner grade. It addresses all of these different aspects of this polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome, from the insulin resistance piece to the excess androgen piece to the inflammation piece, all of which are essential to target. The doses are, again, like very high. It's a very complex formulation, and it's super effective when you pair it with the diet and lifestyle changes that, I teach about in the Foundational Flow program. So I just want you to know you can make inroads with this disorder. You do have to do more work than you probably want to, but you do get the payoff of correcting the signals to the endocrine system, to the ovary, and starting to see the benefits of, improved metabolic function, improved mood, reduced inflammation, and of course, restoration of ovulation and menstruation. That's the whole point, right? So, it's a big day for those of us who have this disorder. It's big news. It's an important moment, because it really opens up not just a better opportunity for more women to get diagnosed correctly sooner, but it also now opens the dialogue for us to really start addressing what the real story is for treatment and how holistic it needs to be in terms of addressing the whole body system and not just targeting ovulation, right? We have to get everything else so that the body can ovulate. So for those of you who have it, let's update our terminology. We now are going to jettison PCOS and we're going to upgrade to PMOS. And I hope you take a minute to just give yourself some time to feel some feelings about this, and do something that to take care of yourself. It's a lifelong disorder, and you've got to manage it for your whole life. So um, do some one little thing today, like take a nap or take a walk or have some tea, but just something to be with yourself and give yourself some space and grace to process all of this, but also to renew your own enthusiasm for moving forward with this disorder in power. All right. Take care.